You know what's worse than facing enemy fire? Facing it with a machine gun that hates you back. There are guns that jam once in a while, and then there are guns that jam so often. You wonder if they were secretly working for the other side. Some were so poorly designed. Soldiers weren't fighting the enemy, they were fighting their own weapon. In today's video, we're looking at 5 of the most infamously awful machine guns ever carried into battle. Guns that didn't just underperform, they betrayed trust, wasted ammo, and turned basic combat into pure chaos. So grab your gear, steady your aim, and pray your gun isn't on this list. Let's dive into history's most frustrating firepower. Braid M30. If there were an award for the most mood-killing gun in military history, the Braid M30 would win it hands down. No joke, this thing was designed so that after firing, soldiers had to pick up the spent casings and reuse them. Imagine being in the middle of a firefight, bullets flying everywhere, and you're bent over like a janitor collecting brass while your buddies are laying down fire. The feeding system was insanely complicated, easy to jam, and the barrel wore out fast if dirt got in, which it always did. The action rails were delicate, the tolerance isn't forgiving. Soldiers quickly learned that Braid M30 wasn't a weapon, it was a patience challenge disguised as a firearm. Sham 1915, mass-produced with the hope of boosting French firepower. The Sham 1915 turned out to be a straight-up slap in the face to anyone who had to carry it. Its infamous open-sided magazine practically invited mud and grime in like it was hosting a trench warfare party. The trigger mechanism wore down fast, sometimes requiring multiple pulls to get a single shot off. The barrel, too soft. After some use, it was about as precise as spitting in the dark. If you were to shoot a Sham, you'd better pray not for victory, but just for the thing to fire when you needed it most. Type 11 LMG. Type 11 is proof that innovative and effective are not the same thing. Instead of using a standard magazine, this gun fed rounds from rifle stripper clips mounted on the side, which sounds neat. Until you tried it in the field. It jammed if the clip wasn't seated just right. The housing was flimsy, drop it once, and you could knock the whole feed system out of alignment. The loading tray slipped constantly. The barrel overheated, and taking it apart was like solving a Rubik's Cube with greasy hands. Who needs enemies when your own gun is sabotaging you? Hughes M1909. The Hughes M1909 was the embodiment of it depends. Sometimes it would fire smoothly like a sewing machine. Other times it would choke after a few rounds like a grandpa with a cold. The gas valve was erratic, the firing rate unpredictable. To make things worse, it was heavy, ridiculously so. Carrying it felt like hauling a small radiator across the battlefield. The mounting system was rigid, and the barrel heated up so fast you could fry an egg on it. Soldiers didn't fear enemy fire as much as they feared having to shoot this thing for more than 30 seconds. Viller Proza M1915. At first glance, the Viller Proza looks like a futuristic beast. Dual barrels, insanely fast rate of fire, compact size. Sounds awesome, right? Until you realize it's completely uncontrollable. It sprayed bullets like a fire hose in a hurricane. The two barrels weren't even synchronized properly, so each one had a mind of its own. There was no proper grip, you basically hugged the thing like a struggling washing machine. No burst mode either. Once you pulled the trigger, the mag dumped. It didn't just shoot bullets, it ran a live lottery with live ammo. Weapons are supposed to protect you, but with these 5, sometimes soldiers probably wish they could trade them in for a shovel. Not only were they useless, they actively made the job harder, forcing the poor guy behind the trigger to fight his own gun before even aiming at the enemy. Want to hear more about historically hilarious weapon fails? Trust me, I've got plenty of those locked and loaded, just say the word. And hey, if you enjoyed this ridiculous ride through history's worst firearms, don't forget to smash that subscribe button like it's a Sham that finally fired on the first try. Hit the bell so you never miss another epic misfire from the past. And drop a comment below. Which of these would you trust in a paintball match, let alone a war? Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next disaster.